Dear viewers, welcome to Strawberry Patches podcast episode number 12. This episode is going to be dedicated to things that I usually share with you. It's going to be about knitting, crochet, my travels, which this year there were so many. This is a scratch map that my sister brought from the States, and I was so amazed about the countries that I visited. So as some of you know, I lived in Turkey, but in the past 8 months I've lived in Indonesia, Malaysia, and now we're moving to New Zealand with my husband. So I would like to share with you about my observations and some video clips that I've shot there, as well as share with you some crafty things that I've done and a little more news about my private life, as clips of my wedding and my family visiting. So let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to Strawberry Patches podcast episode number 12, which will be divided into two parts because I haven't been here for 2 months and I have lots and lots to tell you. So in the first part I'm going to talk about the last month in Bali, and in the second part I'll tell you more about life here in Auckland and how I moved here. So let's start. My name is Marina and I'm coming to you today from Auckland in New Zealand. Hello, welcome to Strawberry Patches podcast. First of all, today is the 17th of February, just one day before my birthday. I'm sitting in our apartment that we rented for just a while until we find a house. And in this episode, I'm going to talk to you about all the things that I have managed to do and complete in December and January and the past, when I wasn't able to do any episodes, and some works in progress, and of course about my plans of what I'm planning to do here in Auckland in New Zealand, which is very exciting. So first of all, just a few things about the news that happened in my life. So in December we finally finished all the preparations, legal preparations for my wedding, and in January my family came over, and it was a very busy but lovely and full of events month in Ubud and in Canggu in Bali, Indonesia, where we were living previously for 8 months. And at the end of this episode, if you want to stick around, I'll show you some little clips from the zoo where we went, and the monkey forest, and the wedding ceremony, which was very beautiful. And I don't want this episode to be too long because there's so much that happened, so I'll jump right into finished objects. So first of all, in my previous episode I've been talking about the paintings that aquarels that I try to make, and I showed you a photo, the picture of a bird that I drew at the airport. Since then I've been looking at various tutorials on YouTube, and I painted this, which was a lot of fun to do, and it was not that hard, although I cannot say this is perfect, but I really liked to play with the colors. And by the way, this is the bird that I showed last time. So I still have to work on the perspective, I think, but anyways, I liked it. Of course, this was painting. As some of you already know, I like all kinds of crafts: painting, ceramics, crochet, making dolls, anything, you name it. So as the name, if you find me on Instagram as Marina Toys or Marina Hoja, you will see that I love to make dolls. So in December, I've made some Christmas related dolls, toys, like this little Christmas tree and this little angel. I didn't have much Christmas fabric with me, so I just made do with what I have. and I was lucky to have this button. And this face, I kind of like the style. So some of my dolls have this face, and I tried some different hairstyle here. Also, every year I try to make a doll that I would potentially one day hang on my Christmas tree, which this year I didn't have. So this is that doll, which will be the symbol of the coming 2018. So I finished her before the new year, and now the next year, I mean the end of this year, I'll make the 2019 doll. I like the button as well, the cute little bear with joy. Also, I remember telling you that I was working on these softies, which are completely safe for any toddler. So I finished the face, and here they are, the bunny and the frog. There's also a cat in this series, but I think I finished it before. I'll be making more of these for sure. They're a great present. Another doll that I have finished. It has been very recent. Just a couple of days ago I finished this doll, although I started her in Bali. This is a shell from the beach in Bali. And this is the fabric, which is very, very popular, this batik technique in Indonesia. And the only thing I had to do, which I didn't have time in Indonesia, was the hair, which I did here in Auckland. And I called her Tina. I wonder if you can guess why. Some of you already said that she does look like Tina Turner with all this beautiful jumpy hair. Look at that. It's very springy and very... I wish I had hair like that. The color and the... Really lovely. I really love her. And two more. I finished 3 pairs of socks in this period. One I gifted to my mother-in-law. Another pair I gifted to my husband. These are those socks that I showed you the yarn, I think. I might have not sure. So much time has passed. So the size fit him perfect. And I really liked this texture. Also, I've recently, just maybe yesterday or the day before, I finished the socks for myself, which are 100% acrylic. By the way, all the details about the yarn you can find on my Ravelry page. And I just played with the color here on the heel and on this part. So this is for my finished objects. Now to my works in progress. Just a second, I wrote everything in my beautiful journal here, and I need to check if I mentioned everything. I have also made 2 more dolls, which I don't have anymore because they were commissioned for a friend of mine. But yeah, so right now, guys, I need to show you what I'm working on, right? So let's continue with the dolls. Currently, I'm working on these 2 mermaids and another beautiful brown girl. Well, basically, yeah, I just need to do the faces and the hair. Well, in this case, the hands as well, but they're almost done and they will be shortly. And I didn't really want to show this girl, but I'm just so excited at how she's turning out. So this is my new design, a cat, and I think I'll give her some hair because right now there's still something lacking. She looks too naked, but I love the simplicity of these hands, this fun bright colors, and the face. So here I used acrylic paints. Sometimes I combine them with stitching or embroidery, but this time I'm happy with the result that acrylic gave me. Other projects in progress. So I already showed you my Spicier Life blanket, the crocheted blanket that I finished. And on the 6th of December, which was the birthday of my late grandma, which I really, really love, still love a lot. And I started a new blanket, which is just going to be similar colors, and but the size will be bigger because that blanket that I finished was a bit too small. I wanted something bigger. So here it is. I added a new color. That was yellow before, but I added this really lovely green, which is exactly the color of the greenery in Bali. And this is how much I have done so far. I don't want to show you all the balls of yarn because they are similar to the ones that I used in the previous project. But if you want to see, it's in Ravelry. Another project I'm working on, I showed you, didn't do that much, but here you are. This is a very cheap rayon yarn, again from Indonesia, on my bamboo needles. Another project that I have just started yesterday is from this interesting 100% wool imported, bought from AliExpress yarn. It's super thin. It took me so much time to figure out what kind of weight it is, and it's really light, and I decided to make some fingerless mitts because in Auckland we are nearing the end of summer and then autumn, and then it will be cold and I don't have any mittens with me, so this hopefully will be them. And they all live in my beautiful Bali bags, which one of them I gifted in one of the giveaways that we had. Yay! Speaking of giveaways and meet-alongs, I'm hosting with Anna, together we're hosting a self-dyed cowl, which I talked about before. And in this cowl we are dyeing our own yarn and we're making something from it. Originally it was supposed to be just 4 months, but we're extending it because there's so many people that want to participate and we're giving them this opportunity. I already showed you the yarn that I did before. After that I dyed some more cotton because that's what I had at that point. And this is the Bahama Blue. I'm really pleased with the color that I got. This time I didn't microwave it, I didn't sponge it on, I just soaked it in a bath and I didn't use any mordant. But yeah, I still don't know what project I'm gonna use it in. But the thing is, I'll tell you in the plans that I'm making what I plan to do with all the dyeing that's happening very soon. So now why not jump to acquisitions? So in December we went to Kuala Lumpur to see my dear friend Melissa, who is also a doll maker and a teacher just like me. And she was so kind as to gift me some of her fabrics that she wasn't using any longer. And I just wanted to show them off because I don't know, some of you might be interested in sewing. And look at this. All of them are going to be some dresses of dolls. This is very nice and very Chinese looking. By the way, she's from Chinese origin and they have just celebrated Chinese New Year, so happy New Year to everyone who has been celebrating. And these are some of my acquisitions from this wonderful shop in Kuala Lumpur called Yi Buttons. And as you can tell, I was yearning to make some, by the way, this is the same that I used here. I thought I would make some more angels or Santas. And I absolutely love the batik technique. So I got some batik yarns for me. And this because, you know, I love making all the frogs and everyone like that. And another place we went to, I just fell in love with this. I think I've seen somebody making project bags from them. I'm definitely making something like that. Look at them. Aren't they gorgeous? So yeah, this brings me to one more piece that was bought already here in Auckland in another shop that I found, which is awesome, which is called New Zealand Fabrics and Yarns. And you can tell that it is, actually I think it is from Australia, but it also has some resemblance to the art that they have here in New Zealand. I'm so interested and fascinated with all the different cultures, and I cannot wait to go to all the museums and to see all the fairs with all of their artwork that they have here. So this is definitely going to be some themed ethnic doll. Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned the FOs, the whips, the dyeing, the plans. Yes, guys. As I was saying, my plans here in Auckland, New Zealand are going to learn more about all the fiber arts. First of all, tomorrow I found a place which is on Waiheke Island. It's about 1.5 hours away from here, from the city center. I will have to go by ferry, and I am going to learn how to dye from some very expert people, I hope. And I learned it from Cher, who is this lovely lady working at the yarn shop here in Auckland on the Queen Street, in Queen Arcade, if I'm not mistaken. We are going to spend there almost all the day, and I will learn all the basics of dyeing. Of course, I have tried to dye cotton before, but I really wanted to try dyeing wool as well. Another thing that I'm excited about is next weekend there is a spinning class, and we are going to have our own spindles and some fiber, which is already pre-dyed, and this will be the beginning of my plunging into all the fiber industry. Also, a couple of maybe yesterday or the day before, I've visited the city central library of Auckland, and I was so fascinated by the library itself. It's very open space. You don't even have to talk to anyone to deposit or to give back the books, and I loved it. So now I'm a member, and I found this amazing book. It's all about spinning yarn by Brenda Gibson. And this is perfect for me right now because it starts with all the basics and the history about different kinds of spindles and how it used to be, and then gives you some ideas of how to spin yarn. Of course, practice makes perfect, so I would need to actually do it before understanding how it works. What's more, it gives you advice on what fibers create what kind of thread and what kind of fabric. Look at this. So for example, for lustrous worsted yarn, she proposes, for example, there's a white Russian. I couldn't not show you this. Yeah, she says the ingredients, for example, washed very fine fleece such as Cormo, Beaumont or Merino, and how to apply it and combine with which different threads. So I'm really into this book. I'm reading it, and I think I will take it tomorrow to read on the ferry before we are going to dye some yarn. It has a section on dyeing the yarn as well.
I just want to try to do it myself because this is just too good not to try it. I've seen here a section on soaking and dyeing fiber. Machine wheel spinning.
Oh, here we go. So it explains the process, how to pre-soak, how to do variegated yarn. This I need to learn because I really want to learn to dye yarn for socks, for some crazy colored socks. I have ordered also some yarn from an internet shop which is in New Zealand here, but it's a bit far on the farm, and this way is much cheaper because the prices here after Turkey and Indonesia are just shocking. Like 100 grams cane with merino and, for example, possum. This is in the story about possum yarn. It would cost about $30, if not more, and it varies, but like $30 for a skein. It's not even socks yet. I don't know. I'm just used to all the half acrylic or cheaper variants of yarn. That's why this price is a bit surprising. But anyways, I found this. It's called Naked Skeins. I'm going to try to dye them to make some socks on my own. And they were quite inexpensive. I had to buy a bulk because of all the shipping and costs and everything. So I paid about $55 for half a kilo of merino and nylon blend because I knew that I wanted for the socks. And yeah, I can't wait. I think they should arrive next Wednesday or something. Also, I'm going to this knitting group on Mondays and Wednesdays, where I met this really lovely lady called Sarah. She told me about all these markets and Facebook and events and the online shops and everything, how to get everywhere. So I cannot wait to get that yarn. And I think in my next episode I'm going to show you all about my life here in Auckland and about how the spinning and the dyeing went, which is going to be this month. So this month we'll have 2 episodes which are packed with new exciting things happening in my life. So thank you very much for joining me and see you very soon.
Тянет, собрала.
Это не одну травину втроем.
Ой, маленький, хорошенький.
At the end of the video, as I promised, I wanted to show you some clips from the monkey forest and other things that I've filmed in Bali in Indonesia. Also, I'm going to show you a little bit of my wedding video, and I hope to see you in the next episode very soon. Thanks a lot for stopping by. If you like this video, thumbs up would be great. If you want to see more, subscribe and comment if you want to ask me any questions or if you want me to film anything else about Auckland or yarn here. I would find this information for you and make sure that I'll talk about it. Thanks and see you soon. Pirates Bay, Nusa Dua. I would call it squirrels. А это мой муж.
Здрасте.
Это мой систер.
Hello.
Подожди, подожди. Любовь позади. И теперь у меня впереди. Дожди, 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 подожди, дожди, дожди. Я оставил любовь позади. И теперь у меня впереди. Дожди, дожди.